What is Balkoth's motivation? What are your goals?
To kill things and take their stuff.
Do you have any preferences insofar as what kind of things you kill?
Things with better stuff?
Okay, but given the choice of two things with equal quality stuff and money and such, which would you go after?
The one that's easier to kill.
What follows is an account of real players in a real D&D campaign decades ago. Some notes were lost to time, some lines are paraphrased, but to the best of my ability, this is my account of the NERF Wars. Before we begin, on the balance front, because some players have expressed concerns about all the combat rebalancing—
You mean nerfs?
The combat rebalancing, I'm looking into the possibility of making a dramatic increase in the hit points of every monster you encounter. More hit points? Increased hit points, but then letting you make use of all your usual fighter craziness that we have been restricting.
You mean craziness like the ability to attack? Or the ability to wear armor?
Some of us feel that you are already quite capable of effective attacks, but anyway, what do you guys think of that idea?
Well, that depends. How much of an HP increase are we talking about?
Probably an increase of 40 to 65% to the hit points of every mob you ever face.
No! Azeron, the favored soul, an armored, melee-oriented divine caster, silently contemplates, attempting to calculate whether the lifting of certain nerfs would net a profit under that scenario. Varian Seth, the psionic full caster, keeps his mouth shut since he is not affected by these fighter nerfs, and he knows that a suggestion he made to GM earlier that day had somehow been twisted into this new home rule idea. Omit, who is playing a multi-classed rogue type more focused on use magic device skill than on his actual class abilities, feels that his character has already been nerfed, changed, and re-nerfed so many times that there is little left but a blob of molten flesh and D6 hit dice. Oh, shit. I forgot my character sheet.
You lost your character again?
Not lost. I know exactly where it is. It just isn't here.
As is tradition, we will start with Azeron once again reconstructing his forgotten character sheet. So we'll begin by asking Balkoth to refresh our memories on what happened last week.
We didn't play last week. We went to that board game night where Omit crushed us all with social hacks.
Omit merely shrugs, trying not to appear smug. Whatever. Balkoth, please remind us where we left off by describing what happened last session.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Balkoth will feign ignorance as usual. Perhaps I can jog your memory by starting with some small questions. Can you give a brief description of your character, Balkoth?
A dwarf.
Yes? Could you elaborate on that? Are you a skilled archer? A priest who performs miracles of faith? A practitioner of arcane arts? Or a master of psionic prowess?
I'm a fighter, with levels in Dwarven Defender.
And how did you come by your proficient knowledge of the wilderness?
My what?
You also have one ranger level. How did you come by those skills?
Well, I didn't mysteriously pick it up just because it gave me a bunch of bonuses.
Okay, well, what is Balkoth's motivation? What are your goals?
To kill things and take their stuff.
Do you have any preferences insofar as what kind of things you kill?
Things with better stuff.
Okay, but given the choice of two things with equal quality stuff and money and such, which would you go after?
The one that's easier to kill.
Alright, perhaps we'll forgo the rest of the questioning, but I need to warn you all that certain individuals I'm not pointing any fingers here, but certain individuals are going to have to act more appropriately within their character's alignment in the future, including a dwarf that is supposed to be lawful good.
What have I ever done that is against my alignment? Azeron and Omit do a much better job than Varian of stifling their amusement.
That guy tried to surrender, and you tortured him, lied to him, and then spent minutes hacking and butchering his corpse.
I didn't lie to him. Balkoth protests that particular detail, conspicuously knowing exactly what event the GM is referring to. I never said we'd let him live if he talked. I told him I was going to kill him, and I didn't care if he talked or not. His talking was just delaying the inevitable.
Dude was a priest of Vecna.
Vecna, god of secrets and lies, also the deity most associated with the undead.
We just asked him some questions, like, do you think it would be better or worse for you if we leave your head intact for your evil master to find?
The implication of leaving a corpse's head intact was not lost on the GM, nor on the NPC Priest of Vecna. Speak with Dead is a powerful divination used by clerics and necromancers to gain posthumous information. Whatever powerful evil this priest had served could quite possibly use such magic to ask some uncomfortable questions of their skull before deciding whether and how to punish him for failing in his evil mission. If, however, the corpse's head were damaged, destroying the jaw, Speak with Dead would fail, allowing the doomed priest to take his secrets to the grave as nature intended. Last session, as Varian made these indirectly threatening statements in earshot of the NPC, Balkoth, perhaps missing some of the subtler implications, nevertheless got into the idea with great gusto, loudly voicing his opinion that we should just kill the fellow now, divine what we need, and then crush the head beyond any hope of divination, or resurrection. Your goodness and law-abidingness, as described by your alignment, might actually require you to accept an individual's surrender when he renders himself defenseless and throws himself upon your mercy. He was trying to kill us. If we surrendered to him, do you think he'd spare us?
Demands of lawful behavior do face some constraints, some practicalities when it comes to...
Varian's balanced philosophical discussion on alignment droned on for a bit, acknowledged by occasional grunts from Omit and Balkoth, but their irate glare remained focused on GM.
There is also the concern that Heronium, the lawful good NPC cleric who is assisting you at the time, would have objected and may even have been obliged to fight you should you have followed through on your plan to kill the innocents you were trying to save.
Actually, Heronium was chaotic good.
I thought he was lawful. Oh well.
I built that cleric when you said we needed an NPC with healing. I was even planning to use him as a backup character if Omit dies. But you played him like the biggest jerk in existence. I was getting really bitter. You played him like some kind of idiotic holier-than-thou, oh, bend over and worship the God Most High. Come join the one true faith kind of moron cleric. Clerics like that don't survive in D&D.
Yeah, it's kind of like in that one-shot we played. I still can't figure out how GM's monk made it up to 15th level if he acted the way he kept suggesting we should act.
No kidding. Honor this and duel that.
The best was when he asked why nobody ever gave his plans a chance, and Varian said, because all your plans involve getting on your knees and...
In that particular adventure, Varian had given a detailed description of ritual seppuku, mocking the monk's suicidal plans, while playing directly upon GM's love of the samurai aesthetic. Comments which Varian would clearly have preferred Azeron not to draw attention to, now that the monk's player was Game Master once more.
Yeah, I might remember having said that.
Well, it's GM's stupid, helpful NPC cleric's fault that the other group of peasants died. He wouldn't let us save them.
It's possible the reason Heronium was giving you trouble is that you were planning to kill all the peasants you had rescued. Omit.
Those peasants had the IQ of plants. They deserve to be left on their own to die in the desert.
You know, you didn't provide them with a whole lot of evidence as to why you killed the priest who had been leading and protecting them throughout their pilgrimage.
Their pilgrimage to be sacrificed in necromantic rituals?
Whatever. I offered to take care of them while everyone else went on ahead to save the first group.
And I wonder why the cleric didn't trust you, since you and Balkoth had been plotting to kill them for an hour.
Or to leave them to rot in the desert, or to torture them, or to give them the plague or something.
If they'd just listened to us, the other group of peasants could have been saved.
Doesn't matter. Heronium isn't coming back. I shredded his character sheet into confetti.
But why? I liked him.
Because you abused him. I created him and you played him totally wrong, like he was a complete jerk.
He will not be missed.
Yeah, Heronium got voted off the island. Anyway, at some point after all that, we do actually start playing Dungeons and Dragons. But the undercurrents of antagonism remain. The Game Master feels he is the only one being reasonable, and that he is being persecuted by everyone else. Azeron is falling asleep by the end, which, despite how it always offends GM, is less a factor of the game than a consequence of Azeron's long work schedule. Omit remains disenchanted by the constantly mutating home rules, the profligacy of nerfs as he sees them, which have caused him to change his character countless times, including 2 full respecs. Varian Seth uses his character's massive intellect and mastery of all knowledge skills to justify all manner of insights which were highly unlikely, but not impossible, for his character to possess in-game. And Balkoth adopted a new tactic, proposing nerfs of his own to monster powers that he found obnoxious, arguing, for example, that the spell Blink should be banned or changed, because, with the rules as written, it allowed a monster to bypass his uncanny dodge defense. But the party will actually enter a dungeon. Next time on the NERF Wars. Please like and subscribe for more Don't Try This at Home antagonistic D&D. I also make a fully animated D&D campaign called Sea of Secrets, which you can watch right now. And there's no way I could keep that up without my generous patrons, especially the members of the organization.